Hello and welcome. And in this video, I'm talking about the best traffic sources for attracting new coaching leads. Now, if there's one thing that I get asked about and I talk about consistently is where is the best place to get leads? And, if you're a coach, a consultant, or an expert, maybe course creator, attracting leads is all about traffic sources. And when I say traffic sources, it's where do your audience hang out? Like, what is the source of where we can go find the audience, the niche that you're targeting, and turn that audience into perhaps followers and then leads, prospects, and clients. And in growing your coaching business, the more traffic sources or the traffic sources that you have that can generally send you traffic, really quickly, the better. And what I want to do is just take a little trip down the different options that you have depending on who you are and where you're marketing, also your preferred way of communicating. And what I mean by that is, not everybody is cut out for the different forms of marketing. And what I mean, it could be video, it could be, written, long form, short form, it could be audio like podcasts or video podcasts. But what I tend to find is that for some people, it's easier to do different types or different formats than others. And so what I want to do is just take you through a few of the things that are going to make a difference in you attracting the kind of leads that you want right now. So let me kick off with the obvious one. So I'm going to state all the platforms that I know just get leads. And I know that because they get leads for me. I've tested them. I've got clients who tested them. And these are the ones that actually work. So if you're on these platforms and when I mention them, you're like, oh, these don't work. What I'm going to do next is then kind of just break down a few things that you need to consider. And what I mean by that is break down the things that perhaps you are missing. And I was having a conversation today because every Monday I do an office hours call with my coaching clients. And basically it's where I host the live on Zoom. My clients just turn up. Like I'm available between, it's usually 1 and 2:30 p.m. on a Monday. And if you turn up, I answer your questions. And the cool thing about that is I had 2 specific questions today from clients around LinkedIn. And it just got me thinking that, a lot of people are trying all these different platforms. And like I said, I'm going to share with you right now which ones do actually work and the ones that you're probably challenged with right now and they're not working. So out of the gates, if you're targeting more business to business, I would definitely recommend, if your niche is more business to business or professional, let's say, you definitely need to be marketing on LinkedIn. And I'm going to get into the types of marketing and the format, right? I think as it stands, haven't checked the latest numbers, but I know there is about 850 to 900 million people on LinkedIn. It's not the biggest social media platform and it's not the smallest, but the cool thing is it has consistently grown over the years. I remember when they had like 300 million members and now it's up to, like I say, 850 to 900. So definitely you should be checking out LinkedIn. There's also Facebook, right? And a lot of people, a lot more these days, understand that Facebook isn't just a place where you have a personal profile. It's a place where you can go into groups. You can have a Facebook page as well. But the page is not really where it's at. The personal profile is probably the biggest thing. And then using some of the features like Facebook groups and other people's groups is definitely where you'll find traffic sources. You've also got places like Instagram, which is also owned by Facebook, right? Or Meta. And the cool thing about these platforms, I'm going to break them down in a moment in terms of what you can do and how you can find people. Instagram, video content, pictures, text works really well on there. You've also got places like YouTube, which is, I would call YouTube like one of the old school places. The thing about YouTube is you've got to be kind of longer term vision with YouTube, all right? And there's advantages to YouTube that a lot of these platforms don't have. And I'll give you a quick one. If you put a video on YouTube, your video can be found in like years from now. Whereas most of you know, if you're publishing content onto perhaps like TikTok, Instagram, even Facebook, your videos disappear after a week. After that, you're not getting any more engagement or people commenting, right? Whereas on YouTube, your video can just keep working for you years and years after, right? So there are different advantages. So then you've got also places, as I mentioned, TikTok, it's kind of the new kid on the block. We're not so really new these days, but a lot more people going on to it. But I think the platform itself is kind of just like, evolved and grown up in the sense of it's become, rather than this kind of dancing and singing kind of platform, people are educating more people and you're getting customers on there. And then you've got all these other places like paid advertising on Facebook, paid advertising on Google, paid advertising on YouTube. You've got paid advertising on Instagram, which is part of Facebook, right? You've also got paid advertising on LinkedIn. And then you've got, other things, and I'm going to mention them and then we're going to break them down just very quickly. This is not going to be this kind of technical, deep dive, complicated thing. I'm going to explain exactly where you can go find people in a moment. You've got things like search engine optimization, where you optimize your website or a page or pages to appear in search engines. And then you've got other things like email marketing, where you can do cold email marketing. Now, I know a lot of companies and I speak to a lot of people who do that successfully. Yet, if you're in the game of trying to attract people into your business right now because you want to get leads, prospects, and clients, you're probably thinking, well, which are the ones that will work for me now, right? So I just want to break down with you, and I'm going to share my screen in a moment. Let me just prepare a couple of things in the background. So I'm going to prepare my profile on LinkedIn, and I'm going to take you to that just so you can see exactly what I want to share with you, and then also my profile on Facebook. And there's a reason why I'm specifically saying I want to show you my profile. And as I said, it came from some questions that I answered today on my group coaching call with my clients during office hours. So let me see if my screen will share. Here we are. All right, here we are. Cool. So first of all, we're looking at my Facebook personal profile. So this isn't a page. This is the profile that I signed up with. I've got friends, I've got family on here, and I've got a whole bunch of people who are in my target audience, my niche, that are connected to me. So you can see currently there's like 7.8 thousand followers, and I'm following, it says 2,500 people. And as we scroll down, we can see it's saying that I've got 4,937 friends, which are part of those followers. But here's what I want to break down with you, and then we'll skip on over to LinkedIn. When you come to my profile, and I'm speaking about basics here, but so many people miss this. When you come onto my profile, and this is what I want you to consider as well. Does your profile give an indication as to what it is that you do? Do you have a profile picture where people can see you clearly, meaning you're looking directly, there's a smile on your face, and you look like somebody who is approachable, right? I see so many people who have like a banner of, I don't know, some scene from countryside, maybe a picture of their home or a home that they like, or they've got, instead of a profile picture, they have like a logo or like a picture of their cat or dog, right? And if you're a business and you're marketing and you run a coaching business, you're a course creator or an expert, the thing that you've got to understand, if you're using these platforms to generate traffic, think about the impression that you are going to give if you aren't set up or branded in the right way for people to know that, actually, this person looks like somebody professional, somebody that could help me. The other thing on Facebook, you get the option to create an intro. So your intro is just a small bio where you can write something, and you can see here quite clearly, I help coaches to double sales in 6 to 12 months. So I'm giving instantly a payoff, i.e. what's in it for my audience, anybody who comes to my profile, to understand what it is that I do. So instantly I'm telling them what I do for my niche. And you can see here, the rest of it, it's very slimmed down. I don't have like literally every job that I've worked in my life on Facebook. I'd literally just put, my businesses, 2 main things that I want people to know, and the link to get to my Facebook group for coaches. That's it. Right. And then you can see there's relevant images here posted down. But if you scroll down my profile, you'll see there's just content, testimonial videos, and so on and so forth. Right. So the first thing, and I'm going to stop sharing for a second. So the first thing that I want to get to is, there's a lot of you out there, coaches and consultants, your profiles are just not set up right. And you're asking the question of what are the best traffic sources. But when a person comes to your profile, they're not seeing what they're hoping to find. And therefore, you're getting people perhaps via your content. But when they come to check you out, they're like, hold on, this person doesn't look like the kind of person that I want to work with, or the kind of person that can help me. Right. And that's one of the things that I just want to get you guys to kind of pay attention to. So I'm going to share my screen again. We're going to go to LinkedIn. So let's have a look at LinkedIn. Right. So on LinkedIn, slightly different with this because at the moment it's picking me up live. So obviously it's showing my live stream, some on my profile, but usually I'd have a banner up here. But anyway, as we go down on LinkedIn, here's what I want you to pay attention to. And this is one of the tips that I shared today, part of the strategy that I gave away for LinkedIn. One of the big things in LinkedIn when a person comes to check out your profile or a person is searching on LinkedIn is your headline, right? So you need to make sure your headline instantly shows the benefit that you offer to the niche who you support. So you can see here clearly under my name, it says helping coaches and consultants go from 20K a month to 50K a month in 12 months, right? Clearly it shows what's in it for you if you're in my niche, i.e. a coach, looking at potentially what I could do for you. It also tells you who I am, marketing coach, as in what I do. And then also the fact that I'll offer group coaching programs, right? But the cool thing is that instantly from my headline, if anybody was searching for me, it'd be pretty clear as to what it is that I do, right? And that's what you want. And then the next important thing, for instance, on LinkedIn is your about section. And when you go through my about section, I'm going to do this very briefly. I'm not going to read it all. I'm just going to explain. If we're not connected on LinkedIn or Facebook, guys, just connect with me, right? And then you can check me out as well. But the thing that I want to get to, for instance, on LinkedIn, I've been using LinkedIn for many years, but I really doubled down on it since around about 2017. Just went, all in, and LinkedIn, we generate leads and clients from LinkedIn organically. And like I said, we're going to get on to paid advertising in a moment. But the thing that I want you to look at is my about section is all about me speaking directly to my niche. Look, it doesn't say, for instance, like I've got 24 years of marketing experience and, I went to blah, blah, blah university and I worked at XYZ or how great I am. Look, instantly, I'm speaking about who I help. It says, are you a coach or consultant and you're on the path of growing your business? Do you feel frustrated or overwhelmed that you're not getting the clients you really want? Are you wasting time on social media, funnels, VAs, marketing agencies, blah, blah? So everything that you'll see right throughout this small about section on LinkedIn, I'm going to stop sharing for a second and just come back to you, is I'm talking to my niche about what they're going through. And then I share a bit of social proof and a few other things. If you want to know how to write, a LinkedIn about section really well, just go to my profile, connect to me and copy mine and just rewrite it for your niche and what you do. That's the fast way, guys. But here's the thing that I want to bring to your attention. No matter what channel we're on, whether it is Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, the first part is making sure your profiles look legitimate, right? Because all of these platforms generally will have your niche there. But how do we know for sure, right? That's the next question. So the thing that I want you to pay attention to is the best traffic sources are the ones where your audience hang out. For example, or would I know that Facebook's a good place to market my business? How would I know that, right? Well, the best ways is if I go onto Facebook, do the Facebook groups on Facebook, the platform, have groups for coaches, right? Are there coaching groups on there? Yes, there are. If you go onto LinkedIn, are there groups for coaches on LinkedIn? Yes, there are. Now, if you've never used groups, guys, like the cool thing about groups is that groups are simply communities where people congregate. You'll find groups on different platforms like Facebook for, dog trainers or dog owners or people going on different diets or personal development groups like Tony Robbins groups and so on and so forth. So the point that I'm getting to is if you're looking at where's the best place to market your business, perhaps what you also want to do is check out, are there groups for the kind of niche that I serve on Facebook, or are there groups for the kind of people that I'm targeting on LinkedIn? So I'll give you a quick example. I was speaking with one of my clients today, Annalise. She's a lawyer coach. So we were checking out LinkedIn, of course, right? Professionals. And what we found is that there were groups of lawyers on LinkedIn. But when we checked out those groups, the group content in there was like so boring, right? There was nothing exciting for lawyers in the group, and we could see based on the engagement. But the cool thing is we found groups of 25,000, 100,000, 50,000, lots of people in those groups. And this is the point that I want to get to, is that the best traffic sources are exactly where your niche are hanging out, right? And I'll get to the connective part in a minute, because we need to go from where we found them and they are hanging out there to, well, how do we get them to raise their hands so we've got leads, prospects, and clients, right? And convert them with our offers. So the other thing that I want you to pay attention to then is, my advice is, if you're marketing in this day and age, you'll hear experts have different opinions, but here's my advice. find 2 channels and just go all in on those 2 channels. For example, if you were marketing on LinkedIn and you found that your niche was on Facebook, maybe you'd go check out and see if there were some groups that exist for your type of niche, then you'd be marketing directly on those 2 platforms. Now, if you have the time or you have a small team because you've got a slightly bigger coaching or consulting business, maybe you can afford for your team to repurpose your content onto Instagram, onto TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, or whichever platform you're using. It could be Snapchat, if you've got a younger demographic. But the point I'm getting to is the key should be, where my audience hanging out? So I'm going to just show you very quickly once again. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go on over to LinkedIn. So for example, imagine if I was targeting lawyers, just like my client earlier, Annalise. So I'm going to type lawyer. I'm going to choose groups as a filter, and I'm going to look down and say, yep, look here, Account Lawyer Alliance, 100,000 members, Forensic Accounting and the Law, right? 31,000 members, Global Lawyer Search, 60,000 members. So here's the thing, and this is the point of what I want to share with you. We can see for this particular niche, if I was targeting lawyers, they're hanging out on LinkedIn, right? Now, if I was going to do the same thing, let me just share with you. I'm going to go to my Facebook profile. Let's say I was searching for lawyers. I'm going to type lawyer on Facebook. I'm going to go down and filter it to groups on the bottom left. And you can see here, look, landlord, tenant lawyers, 58,000 members, free legal consultations, ask a pro bono lawyer, 54,000 members, ask a lawyer, 72,000 members, lawyer collections, and so on and so forth. And we can keep going. Global Law Discussion Group, 123,000 members. So instantly, we've just found on LinkedIn and on Facebook, if we were targeting lawyers, or if I was, there are lawyers hanging out on both platforms. And that's the key, guys. When you're looking at the best traffic sources, you've got to go with, well, where are my audience hanging out? So for example, if I was targeting people, coaches who are on Instagram, for example, what I would do is search on Instagram and I would type into the search lawyer, right? If I was targeting lawyers, if I was targeting coaching, potential coaches who could be my clients, then I would go in there and type, keywords related to coaches and coaching. And that's the key. And I say this because there's an important point that I want to raise, and then we're going to move on to a couple of other things, guys. If you're targeting just to find out where people are, just understand that if you're marketing organically, the key is going to be how much time you can invest in your content and your offers. Time, content, and offers. That's what's going to convert people on these platforms, right? The time part is how fast are you able to get that content in front of people consistently and to get people to raise their hand, right? Now, organic can work wonderfully well. You can do literally multi-6 figures, 7 figures, just organically by posting your content on all the platforms. It can be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, right? But the point I want to get to is that sometimes it can take you longer. You can have people in your pipeline for like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10. Some people can be in your pipeline for over a year before they become clients. So what can you do to increase the speed at which you move from attracting a person into becoming a client? Here's my advice, guys. Now, if you're generating anywhere from 10 to 30K a month, you probably know this already, right? Which is to run paid advertising. Now, if you've ever heard of running Facebook ads or Google ads or YouTube ads or Instagram ads, that kind of stuff, that's what paid advertising is. You can run paid ads on LinkedIn. You can also run them on TikTok as well. Now, what's the advantage of running paid advertising? The advantage is if you have cash as a budget to invest, to attract clients in, these platforms will get your content in front of these people, your niche, much faster and more consistently than organic, right? So there is never, really this trade-off in should I go organic or should I just go paid advertising? The key is to figure out which ones work for you and are scalable, right? So let me explain. If you're attracting people in organically, you're probably already proving that the way that you write or the videos you create or the copy you come up with is converting. So that gives you an easy route into running ads because you already know what to put in your ads, right? A lot of people don't see that if you get something to work organically, you can also then transition and putting it into paid ads. Now, Can you burn a lot of money running paid ads? Yes, you can. If you don't know what you're doing, you can burn a lot of money because you're probably thinking, let me spend some more to attract more in, but you probably haven't tested your messaging or tested your offers. But what I can say to you is that if you're at this stage where you do find yourself with a budget that you could run on paid advertising, should you run at paid advertising? Yes, you should. Why? Because you should test it first of all to figure out if your ads can convert. Right. So rather than just relying on organic, let me post in groups, let me put stuff on my profile, and you're sitting there, right, and you're trying to grow your audience, you're adding friends or you're adding connections on LinkedIn, or you're following more people on Instagram so more people follow you back, and you're doing the same thing on TikTok and so on. Like, these things are all based on time, whereas when you run paid ads, the ads are just going out to the people that you choose, and based on the message that you put in the ads, meaning the copy and the video, the ad platforms on Facebook or Meta and on Google, on YouTube, they're actually putting your content in front of the people they already know who should be seeing your kind of stuff. And so it increases the likelihood and it speeds up the process of you getting in front of people. And the reason why I say this is important to pay attention to, because whether you have a small team, VAs, or social media managers, just remember, if it's a human doing these things, even if they've got tools, like, it's all based on time, and there are limits to how many people you can reach organically on these platforms, even with these tools, because the social media platforms, have what's the best way for me to put it? They have limits on how many people you can connect with in a day, how many messages you can send in a day, how many comments you can reply to in a day or within an hour. And so when you run paid ads, you don't face these limits, and they do it on purpose because they actually want you to run paid ads. There are obviously other platforms where you can go, organically viral, like TikTok and so on. But you've also got to understand, if you go viral and let's say you attract lots of attention, how many people can you actually follow up with? If it's thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions. I've got clients who've got millions of views on videos on YouTube or on TikTok and places like that. But then how do you manage that at scale? And this then becomes the new problem you have to pay attention to. So let me kind of boil this down into something conclusive for those of you who are interested in traffic right now. If you are marketing your business, right, and you're targeting B2B, like business to business, and you're targeting like a business type or professional type of client, I would definitely recommend you check out LinkedIn. Pay attention to having your profile up to date, meaning banner, profile image, really good headline that shows an instant benefit of what you offer people, and make sure your about section is written for your audience. The same thing on Facebook. And if you don't know how to do that, go to LinkedIn, connect with me, and copy my profile and rewrite it for your niche. That's the fastest way. For those of you who want a bit more pointers, I do have a worksheet that I can give you. It's one that I give to my clients. It's called the Authority Accelerator. And I just break down what you need to look for on Facebook, on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, I believe. So I can give that PDF away for free. If you want the PDF, the Authority Accelerator PDF, just comment below this with the word PDF and I'll know what it is that you're after. But in all honesty, when it comes to scaling your coaching business, paid ads is the way, because you're constantly testing what message is right. You're controlling your budget so you don't have to burn through and waste your budget. And what you're able to do is, as you grow, you can increase your budget. You can multiply your ads. You can take things to that next level rather than doing the guesswork or waiting, which is what you have to do when it comes to organic. There are different things that you can do: email marketing, as I said, and search engine optimization. But again, email marketing is dependent on how frequent you communicate with your list and how warm that list is to that message. If you do things like search engine optimization, it's all time-based. There is no, here's the guaranteed time where you're ranking and the search engines are going to bring you lots of traffic. That's why even on Google, you can pay for ads to appear in the search, right? That gets you there instantly rather than waiting 3, 6, 12 months before your search engine optimization results are preferential for you. And that's the thing that I want you to pay attention to, guys. So if you are in this situation where you're looking to get in, to get traffic right now, here's one tip that I would recommend. If you can get into paid communities where you're allowed to advertise, meaning I'm in some communities right now on Facebook where I pay between $5 to $10 a month, but I get access to a community where it's a higher caliber of person who's also paying to be in that community, but I can advertise And usually in these groups, they give you kind of guidelines of how many offers you can put in their group per week or so on. But that's another thing to look at. Maybe you want to connect with group owners to set up maybe a JV partnership so that you can market or create some kind of content or workshop or masterclass so you can market out to their audience. I had one client, and this we'll wrap up in the next few minutes. But I remember I had one client previously, and we adjusted his offers. We created a $50,000 and $100,000 coaching offer as a business coach. But the key to him generating $1.47 million in sales in 6 months is that we found a JV partner who was willing to put his offer in front of his audience, right? And a lot of people don't speak about these things. It's always Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, and social media, this, that, and the other. But the one thing I would say to you, if you're paying attention when you join these groups, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether you come across, like an influencer or a potential JV partner who's targeting your niche, but serving them in a different way, maybe it's also worth your time having a conversation to build up a relationship so that you can approach them about having a JV partnership where there's no compete, but there is an opportunity to collaborate, right? And honestly, if you want to take things to that next level, you start considering all these factors, meaning organic can get you so far and it can help you to really develop your message and make sure that when you test that message organically, it's like, now I know what to put into my ads because you're testing, right? When you want to scale and keep things consistent, you've got to run ads. And for those of you who want to know how to run ads, I'm actually running a workshop a week tomorrow. It's called the Ads to Clients Workshop. If you want to find out more about it, the early bird ticket offer, which is 50% off, ends, I think it's midnight tonight. Just type the word or comment below with the word ads, and I'll send you details if you're interested in that. It's like £21 to join the training. It's a 3-hour workshop. But if you really want to take things to that next level, I'm going to show you how to do that with your ads for £7 a day, $7 a day, or €7, whichever currency you're running. So the point that I'm getting to, guys, is with ads, you can scale up and you can scale within your budgets, and it's really leveraged. And as you grow a business, what you should be looking for is a mix of both. It shouldn't be, I only market organically and that's the way that I market, because you'll be forever at the algorithms changes and the algorithm updates. It's never about, I can put something out and say that I'm going to drive 100 leads into my business in the next week or so. But with paid advertising, you get to the point where you understand what gets those leads in, and that is then related to your budget. So you'll understand your cost per lead, how much it costs you to attract in a client. And that's the way that you scale your coaching business and also determine the best traffic sources. Finally, the traffic sources are only as good as your content is at converting, meaning to generate leads or to get people to buy. So that's the other thing I want you to pay attention to, because I've spoken to people before where they've said LinkedIn doesn't work, or Facebook groups don't work, or LinkedIn groups don't work, or TikTok doesn't work, or Instagram doesn't work, or YouTube doesn't work. I've got clients who've literally got millions of views on all of those platforms. I've also done pretty well over the years from these platforms, because I understand that no matter what platform you're on, it's always going to come down to your content and your offers, right? And if your niche are hanging out there, that's it. Content and offers is what will convert. So if you're challenged right now, or you're looking to scale up right now, but you need a bit of help, remember, just reach out to me, send me a DM, and I can point you in the right direction if it's just a bit of help you're looking for, or if you're looking for direct support. On that note, guys, here's what I would love to know. What are your current challenges with attracting more traffic on these platforms? If you comment below, I will answer you specifically, not just with a wafer thin answer. I will answer clearly, and I'll give you access to a couple of resources to help you on your way. I hope this has kind of just opened up your mind as to what things you can look for, on these different platforms, because in one respect, yes, they all do work, but you've got to understand how each platform works as well. And that's another thing. And that comes back to content and offers. And the more you understand the platforms and how you need to show up, whether it's on video, whether it's audio, whether it's written, or whatever you are more comfortable with or more passionate about, these are also the other factors to pay attention to, which I think I'm going to pick up on another live stream, which I'll probably do either tomorrow or Wednesday. But on that note, guys, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Joe, I'll be sending you the PDF. Everybody else, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.